Okay, so I was saying, these super, super floppy rabbits, when they get them to like the ultimate suppleness, like they could be underwear, they're just like so, soft and wonderful. Honestly, when it comes to like hats and bags, this would suck. Because, even if you imagine like a hat made out of this, like it's so floppy that it like can't even keep its shape very well. If it were a bag, it can't keep its shape. Um, they're good. They would be good for mittens. I like the ones that are actually the ones that come out a little firmer. I like for mittens. Whereas like a hide that's a little bit stiffer keeps its shape nice as a bag. Um, like hats. Here's a raccoon hat, vegetable tanned. It's with oak bark. It's dark in there. It's kind of heavy for its size. It's ridiculous, but it's a good hat. I'll just show you like it just like keeps its shape, it's like sturdy all the way around. Like slightly stiffer hides, I just think for most, not all styles of hat, for a lot of styles of hat, they're better. Here's my rabbit hat, which here in the Southeast, I'm often wearing this hat most of the time. Raccoon is the warmest fur that I really work with here in the Southeast. So when it's like in the teens or the wind is really cutting, to me there's nothing warmer than raccoon. Like my head will be sweating in here and then it'll be in the teens. Whereas some like really floppy rabbits, this is 2 rabbit hides sewn into like, it's more of a hood style hat. It's not something that like hugs the head. It's very loose. Let me see. Which can be tied in the back to tighten it up, or tied in the front. I usually tie it in the back to get the dangles out of my way. So the rabbit hides work, but for more of like a hood rather than a stiff hat or any garment that needs to keep its form. Okay, so that's just all I got to say about raccoons. Don't let them, they're good teachers. Raccoons are such good teachers, I think. But if you feel like your self-esteem is demolished with raccoons, tanning them, just have heart. It's not you. Like, you're working hard, you're doing a great job. There are tricks you learn along the way. But mostly, it just comes down to how many hours you put into it. Like, the more time and attention and hours that you put into a hide, in general, like the nicer it's going to be at the end. It's no like great secret. Like it's just a labor of immense time and work and attention. The only other thing I'll say about furs, with brain tanning specifically, so my one trick, my tricks, they're not even tricks, they're just tips, which if you already tan, you already know these, I'm sure. And so the one is like, expect to dress and soften the hide 2 times, twice. Abrade the surface of the fibers while you're stretching them, somehow. That means you can like stretch it over something dull and then go over it with a buffing stone, or use like a sharp wood edge like I use, so it abrades and stretches the fibers at the same time. That's really important. And the other extremely important thing is membraning. You have to membrane all hides, no matter what method of tanning you're using. But with brain tanning, it's like super important. It's like just much more important than vegetable tanning. And if you're coming out with really crunchy hides consistently, it could be one of your main issues, is not membraning enough. Right, so here's the rawhide. Okay. So this rawhide hide, when this is flat, I usually do it when it's salted and still tacky, or when it's fully dried, doesn't matter. I always dry fur hides first. One reason is that it makes it really a lot easier to get the membrane off. Once a hide is dried, I can use like a wood board, just like any scrap wood board, anything that's smooth and doesn't have really gnarly knots on it that are bumpy. Just scrap wood board on the ground, and a stone. I have a whole bag of stones. I just collect them as I go. but I want something that's kind of a medium grit. This isn't like a volcanic stone that I bought or something. They're just rocks that I find in the rivers and as I go. So it's not like a smooth river stone. It's kind of a medium grit, but it doesn't have any sharp edges that would like tear into the hide. And it's comfortable to hold. So sometimes I'll try a few until one seems to work well or be comfortable, and then it'll like be my stone sometimes for a whole season because I move around, I gypsy around, so I'm usually like shedding materials and then starting over next time. So sometimes I'll get attached to a stone for months at a time, and then using that stone to very thoroughly buff every single section of the hide. And that's mainly taking off the membrane. And it's going to be like when you get a sunburn and the skin peels, or like a thin layer of tissue paper almost, be this thin layer that sometimes you can grab an edge of it and it will just peel off. It's very satisfying. And that's what you want to get off from every inch of the hide as much as you can. I'm very thorough. I like, start in one section and go around and like a grid and get every last little bit that you possibly can before you bother dressing and softening the hide. It's worth it. It's really worth it. If it's for vegetable tanning, you just don't have to be as thorough. I still do it, but there's more wiggle room. Vegetable tanning is much more forgiving of left-on membrane than brain tan. So I love the wood board and stone method for buffing. I call it buffing hides. It breaks up and removes any leftover membrane, and also kind of just like roughs up the surface of the fibers underneath the membrane. I call them the core fibers. For classes, in-person classes are really what I'm used to. So for classes, I usually have visuals. I might have them here. I don't know, maybe next time I'll get my little chart of all the different layers of skin. That's all for now. It actually turned into a lot of talk. I'm really good at talking. That's all for now. We'll say goodbye to my best friend Fox and new Fox who gets to be smoked soon. Other Fox who still have to spend 2 days softening, dressing and softening. And I get to little groundhog says goodbye. Raccoons say goodbye. Foxkins say goodbye. Okay. Turning into a crazy lady. Okay, I hope you learned something. I hope this was helpful. Overall, yeah, just go easy on yourself with tanning. You're working hard. You're doing great. If things aren't going the way you plan, that is just the nature of this craft. It is a Pandora's box, and it is the most mercurial craft and art form I've ever encountered. So it'll kick your butt, and it will bring you beauties and pleasures and satisfaction that are just beyond the beyond. All right, goodbye, guys.